In the age of constant news updates, it can feel like the world is coming at us nonstop, especially when most of it is negative. The 24/7 news cycle can be overwhelming, constantly feeding us information that may feel like it's too much to handle. It's easy to feel trapped in an endless cycle of doom scrolling, a habit where you mindlessly scroll through distressing headlines and updates. If you're struggling with the emotional toll of staying informed, know that you're far from alone. But here's the catch. Staying informed is crucial. In a world that's constantly changing, it's vital to understand what's happening around us. From global events to local stories, staying informed allows us to make responsible decisions and contribute to society in a meaningful way. However, we also need to find ways to stay updated without sacrificing our mental well-being. While traditional media outlets tend to filter graphic or distressing content, the unfiltered nature of social media often presents shocking images of tragedy without warning. This constant barrage of distressing content has been linked to increased psychological distress, especially in a world where images and news travel faster than ever. Studies from psychologists and neuroscientists reveal that negative news can have a real, measurable impact on our mental health. According to research by the University of California, constant exposure to distressing media increases levels of cortisol, a stress hormone, which can lead to anxiety, fatigue, and burnout. A study from the American Psychological Association found that people who engage with negative news regularly experience increased levels of anxiety and depression. These emotional shifts are not just fleeting, they are deeply impactful. Over time, exposure to negative news can cause a sense of helplessness, pessimism about the world, and decreased life satisfaction. It's not just about feeling sad in the moment. This steady stream of negativity can change the way we view the world and our ability to affect positive change. Moreover, research has shown that constant exposure to graphic content can even lead to vicarious trauma. This means that even if you're not directly involved in a traumatic event, the psychological effects of watching or hearing about these events can be overwhelming, leading to symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Insomnia, flashbacks, and emotional numbness are just a few signs of how the constant stream of news can negatively affect mental health. Despite these risks, we're drawn to negative stories. A study published in Science magazine suggests that humans have an inherent bias towards negativity, a trait that evolved as part of our survival mechanism. When we hear about disasters or conflicts, our brains tend to react with a heightened sense of urgency, which makes us more likely to engage with the content. Why it's hard to break the habit. It's difficult to stop following the news, especially when we feel it's our responsibility to stay informed. If you have family members in conflict zones or you're deeply concerned about world issues, the impulse to stay updated can feel moral or necessary. But for many, it becomes a compulsive habit. This is where mindful consumption can help. Instead of completely shutting off from negative news, which might not be realistic, it's more practical to engage in a healthy, balanced way. As we've seen in research, the key is to take control of how, when, and why we consume the news. A mindful approach to staying informed. So, how can you balance staying informed without it negatively affecting your mental health? The answer lies in mindful news consumption, an approach that acknowledges the need to stay updated while also prioritizing emotional resilience. The science behind mindful news consumption. The human brain is wired for survival, which means it's highly attuned to dangerous stimuli. This is why negative news grabs our attention so strongly. Our brains treat it as a potential threat. However, when we constantly activate this fight or flight response through news consumption, we put ourselves under tremendous psychological strain. Mindful consumption helps you avoid triggering your brain's fight or flight mode by allowing you to engage with the news consciously, rather than compulsively. a mindful approach to staying informed. So, how can you balance staying informed without it negatively affecting your mental health? The answer lies in mindful news consumption, an approach that acknowledges the need to stay updated while also prioritizing emotional resilience. The science behind mindful news consumption. The human brain is wired for survival, which means it's highly attuned to dangerous stimuli. This is why negative news grabs our attention so strongly. Our brains treat it as a potential threat. However, when we constantly activate this fight or flight response through news consumption, we put ourselves under tremendous psychological strain. Mindful consumption helps you avoid triggering your brain's fight or flight mode by allowing you to engage with the news consciously, rather than compulsively. Steps to mindful news consumption. Here are practical research-backed steps you can take to consume the news in a way that supports your mental health. Pause and breathe. Before diving into the news, take a moment to pause and focus on your breath. A study from the University of Oxford shows that deep breathing can reduce anxiety and improve emotional regulation, making it easier to absorb information without it becoming overwhelming. Check in with yourself. Are you feeling stressed or emotionally exhausted? Research from the National Institute of Mental Health suggests that people who are already emotionally drained are more likely to experience heightened emotional responses to negative news. If you're feeling off, it's okay to step back from the news. Reflect on your intentions. Why are you engaging with the news right now? If you're looking for information, great. But if you're driven by fear or anxiety, it might be worth reconsidering if it's the right moment to engage. Be critical of the source. Not all news is created equal. Ask yourself, who is reporting this and what is their agenda? Is the source credible? Research by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism highlights that fact-checking and critical media literacy can help protect against misinformation and reduce anxiety caused by false narratives. Tune into your body and emotions. Our bodies often react physically to stress. Take notice of any muscle tension, increased heart rate, or discomfort. A study published in the Journal of Health Psychology found that being aware of these physical signs can help mitigate stress and prevent emotional overwhelm. Brace yourself. Don't rush through news stories. Allow time to reflect on each piece of information. As a study from the American Journal of Public Health shows, the speed at which we consume news directly affects our emotional well-being. Taking breaks between pieces of news allows you to process your emotions more effectively. Signs that the news is affecting your mental health. If you find yourself overwhelmed by the news, you may notice certain emotional or physical signs that indicate it's time to take a break. According to research by the American Psychological Association, these include compulsive checking, the need to continuously check the news, even when it's causing distress. Physical symptoms of anxiety. This can include headaches, upset stomach, or restless nights. Mood shifts, feelings of hopelessness, irritability, or a sense of helplessness. Emotional exhaustion, a deep sense of fatigue or burnout from constant exposure to negative events. What to do when the news feels overwhelming? If you feel like the news is affecting your mental well-being, it's essential to take action. Take a break. Even a short break from the news can give you a chance to regain emotional balance. Studies show that taking time away from distressing stimuli can help the brain reset and reduce stress. Reflect, journal your thoughts, or talk with a trusted friend about how the news makes you feel. Expressive writing has been shown to reduce the emotional burden of negative events. Engage in calming activities. Whether it's spending time in nature, practicing yoga, or doing creative hobbies, engagement in relaxing activities has been scientifically proven to lower cortisol levels and reduce stress. Seek support. If the news is making it difficult to function in daily life, don't hesitate to reach out for professional help. Mental health resources, including therapy, support groups, and stress management tools are there to help you navigate difficult emotions. Staying informed in today's world is essential, but it doesn't have to come at the cost of your mental health. By incorporating mindful strategies into your news consumption, you can strike a balance between staying updated and maintaining emotional resilience. Prioritize your mental well-being and remember that it's okay to take a break from the news when it feels overwhelming. It's about taking control of how, when, and why you engage with information, ensuring it serves you rather than draining you. Ask ChatGPT. My dear darling, if you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos. Your support means a lot to us and helps us create more valuable content. Stay tuned for more tips and feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please, dear darling, please subscribe. Please ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT.